It's April 13th, it's 29 degrees, and I'm sitting on my garage floor to finally do a little project that I've been putting off for a long time. And that project is replacing this breather on the rear differential and this breather for the rear e-locker, so that I can drive through deep water and not worry about water getting into my differential. Now this breather here on top of the rear differential with my 35-inch tires is 20 inches off of the ground. And there's a good chance that I might decide to drive through water that's deeper than 20 inches sometime, and I don't want water intrusion. Now this breather up here is a little higher. It's a little bit better for the e-locker. That is 30 inches off of the ground with my 35-inch tires. So if you're on stock size tires, you're going to be a couple inches lower than that. So a couple inches lower than 20 inches and a couple inches lower than 30 inches. All right, the parts you're going to need for this little project include some 1/4 inch fuel line, 15 to 20 feet of it or so. You're gonna need one of these little breather filters. It's usually for like a crankcase breather. You're gonna need a handful of zip ties. You're gonna need a 1/4, 1/4, and 1/8 inch T to connect all your lines together. You're gonna need this little Toyota part. It's for like an old Camry or something for vacuum lines, but it threads into the rear differential and we can hook our hose up to that. You're gonna need some little hose clamps and some thread compound to seal up this connection on the rear differential. So not very many parts, not very expensive parts, so pretty simple. It's important to get the breathers for the rear differential and rear e-locker up higher, but there's also the automatic transmission and the transfer case that can get underwater as well. So what about those breathers? Well, in this 2010 FJ Cruiser, we can see the breathers for those two things. Here's the battery right here, this fuse case, the engine cover, very dirty. I apologize for that. But we can see right down here that the breathers for those two things, the transmission and the transfer case, are already pretty up high. And if we get standing water up that high, well, we're gonna be in big trouble anyways. So I'm okay with where those are at. I don't think we're gonna get water up there. And if we do, like I said, everything's over anyways. All right, I'm actually gonna start this whole process at the front of the vehicle. I'm gonna run the line starting up here, get my breather hooked up to this line, and then run the line to the back of the vehicle. I got the line routed from the front to the back, and I think it's in a pretty good spot. It's all secured. See, we started up here. Got a couple zip ties here so it doesn't come off. We'll clip these ends off just so it looks like a professional zip tie job. Now we wanted to keep it away from the exhaust here because the exhaust gets really hot. And so it's just routed all the way down through there. And then if we come over here, you can see that it's here. Cut these zip ties off. And then clip this splash guard back in place. There we go, just like that. Looks pretty clean. You can see it sticking out a little bit right there, but it's totally on the frame and out of the way. And then it is here on top of the frame. You can see this body mount behind the wheel. And it continues up above the slider. It's hooked onto the parking brake cable there. And then it continues on up over the frame. From there it comes up over the frame, continues along the frame, comes right back to where we need it. Alright, so the first thing we gotta do is remove this old breather here, wipe some dirt away from there so it doesn't go into the differential. And it's a 14 millimeter. I'm going to use a socket because I prefer sockets over wrenches when I can use one. A lot of dirt around there. And there it is. Remove that. Next we're going to install this. That's going to go right here in place of the old breather. Before I put it on there, I'm going to put a little pipe dope or thread sealant on there so that when we're parked in the water, no water is getting through the threads here. Let's seal that up nice. Just like that. And then we'll just thread it into the differential. And that is a 10 millimeter. And I've got that right here. We'll just tighten that down to a reasonable torque. Got my torque wrench right here. There we go. That feels good. And look at that, beautiful. So I routed the hose from the front. So now we're ready to start cutting some hose. All right, this breather right here is just held in by a clip here. So we can just carefully pull that out. Now it's loose. And we should be able to just pull that breather off, just like that. There it is, the old breather. And what we're gonna do is take our 1/4 inch T, and we're gonna stick that right on there, like that. And then we can actually just put this right back here into its clip. Okay, so we're gonna wanna have this hose right here come and hook right here. This is the hose from the engine bay. We're gonna wanna hook it right here. So we'll pull this hose over right here. All right. So now we'll cut this hose to a reasonable length so we can connect it right here. We're going to put a hose clamp right here on this hose, and hopefully get this on here. Like I said, it's cold out today, so this rubber is kind of hard. Oh, very snug fit. Rubber doesn't like to be cold. Okay. And my hose clamp managed to work itself back a couple feet here. There we go. All right. So now, that looks pretty good. We just have to run a hose from here up to here, and we'll be done. There we go. Then we can tighten up this clamp. Perfect. So we want to leave enough slack in this hose to give the axle enough room to move up and down. It's gonna move up and down quite a bit, so we want to leave plenty of slack here in this hose. Cut that off. We've got this hose going here, so we just need to get this clamp on here. And then attach our hose right here. Let's tighten up this clamp. All right, and we'll reattach this hose right here, and there you have it. All right, I think that looks good. It's just hanging here like this, loose. So when the axle goes down, it's got plenty of slack. I think we're good. Thanks for watching this video on diff breathers, otherwise known as the Scuba mod. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, give me a like and a subscribe. If you didn't like the video, give me a dislike, and of course a subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me what you liked about it or what you didn't like about it, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.